What's up, YouTube community? It's been a while, but I wanted to kind of vent today about why I prefer DoorDash over Uber and Lyft. So, let me give you a little backstory. I started Uber and Lyft back in 2017, and that was the gateway for me to get into the gig economy. I did that for about a few years, and then eventually I ventured off into other apps like Instacart and DoorDash. I did sign up for Spark, Amazon Flex, Favor. I do have accounts, active accounts, but the ones I mainly utilize is DoorDash, Uber, and Lyft. And Uber and Lyft was awesome when I first started. It was like a whole new world to me because all I was ever used to was W-2 jobs. Ever since I was 16, I had, your traditional 9 to 5 type of job. And I did the military. And so when I first started doing Uber and Lyft, it was a new concept to me. It was an awesome experience because it was a new sense of freedom. I wasn't used to creating my own schedule, working whenever I wanted, wearing whatever I want, and with that type of power, it just feels good. It's a double-edged sword because you don't have a manager or a boss hovering over you, forcing you to work, so you can tend to procrastinate if you want. But that luxury of being able to create your own schedule and making money whenever is an awesome privilege. And so I did enjoy Uber and Lyft when I first started. But when I started doing DoorDash, and I recently started doing that DoorDash last year, it was another further step more into freedom, in my opinion. To me, when it comes to, as far as mental health, the quality of mental health, I prefer DoorDash more because the probability of having a negative experience is a lot less on DoorDash as opposed to driving on Uber and Lyft for people. Because with Uber and Lyft, you're directly interacting with passengers, people in your car all day if you decide to do it all day. And the likelihood of having a negative experience is more frequent than doing a DoorDash order. And let me explain. It's because you're directly interacting with people. They're in your car physically riding with you. And don't get me wrong, for the most part, I've had good experience. Most passengers are great, respectful. But you're going to have that one passenger who's just having a bad day. They're going to come in, you're going to say hello, they don't say nothing. They slam the door, they'll tell you to turn off the radio, or roll down the window, or eat in your car, etc. Blah, 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 blah. Right? And for the most part, it doesn't bother me. But it did get to me some days. But for DoorDash, that's all avoided. Because you're literally just riding by yourself all day. And but don't get me wrong, there's still interaction with people on both apps. On DoorDash, it's just more so dealing with employees at the restaurant and being in public, walking into stores, buildings, and handing the food to the customer. But I noticed customers, in comparison to both apps, on DoorDash, they're more happy to interact with you and see you because you have their property, you have their food, and they're hungry and they're excited to eat. So when you bring them their food, they tend to be more happier, and you have their things, so they're gonna tend to treat you better. Versus on Uber and Lyft, you're getting into your property. That's not their property. It's your car. So they're more inclined to not respect you as much because it's not their thing. So the slamming the doors, the not asking to eat in your car or drink or touching things is more likely. Another thing is mileage on your car. Through my experience, and it may vary from market to market, but in my market, San Antonio, Texas, everything is spread out. So when people request rides, the probability of going somewhere really far is very likely because everything's spread out here in San Antonio. Minimum 20 minutes to get to anywhere. Versus DoorDash, you typically stay in a zone. You choose a zone, and they do a good job for the most part keeping you in that zone. And there's restaurants in every corner, so most customers just order within that proximity, which is nice. That's what I prefer. I like to stay in the area, less miles on my car. So that's another thing I like about DoorDash. And another thing is another freedom of just doing what you want in your car, like listening to whatever you want. I felt like in Uber and Lyft, there was a little, some pressure to be a little more filtered. My phone died, and picking back up where I left off. So another thing is filtering my personal space for a passenger, like being professional and filtering myself to where I won't potentially offend a passenger. And that's with Uber and Lyft. I'll give you an example. I was listening to David Goggins, and he was talking about how obese he used to be and how lazy and POS he used to be. And my passenger happened to be overweight at the time, and I could tell that person was getting triggered. Versus if I was on DoorDash, that would be avoided because nobody would be in my car by myself. So I could listen to whatever I want without potentially offending anyone. Now, matter of fact, I'm usually on the phone with my friends the whole time, the whole shift, or majority of the shift, and it's awesome. And you don't have that luxury on Uber and Lyft, you know. So the sense of privacy and freedom I have on DoorDash is unbeatable, and I will choose that over Uber and Lyft. But yeah, those are the main things I just love about DoorDash as opposed to working on Uber and Lyft. But I am thankful for Uber and Lyft. It was a phase in my life. It really did help me. But another point I will make, though, is I did make more money on Uber and Lyft. But the quality of my mental health, to me, is just unbeatable. And I really don't need all this extra money. I'm not pressured to do this full time and have to pay bills with this income, because I already make other income sources. I have other income sources to where it takes care of my bills and to where I'm able to save a little. So this is all just house money, and it's just extra money. So it's I just do it part-time. So the difference of Uber and DoorDash isn't really a big concern, a big deciding factor to where I will have to choose something because it makes more. So I'm choosing DoorDash just because to me it's more peaceful, more enjoyable, more fulfilling. And yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Which apps do you guys prefer when it comes to the gig economy?